Welcome back. Thank you for staying with the broadcast. Republicans tout how impeachment has been a fundraising boom for U.S. President Donald Trump as his supporters rally around their embattled president. Democrats counter that this vote will be a black mark on the president's name that voters will find impossible to ignore when casting their ballots. Polls show a sharply divided nation whose opinions about the president for and against have not changed much because of the ongoing impeachment drama. It is probably safe to say that the 2020 election was going to be close before impeachment, and it will be close after.
Nancy Pelosi called this letter really sick. A lot of people were stunned by it. Did the people inside the White House know he was going to write it, and what are they saying about it today?
Well, sure, the president ordered it up, and he has sent it. He owns it. It's now part of his rhetoric dealing with impeachment, so the president's completely satisfied. But there were divisions, Gail, within the White House. There were some who said, Mr. President, look, write accomplishments from last week on trade, defense spending, even family medical leave. Be above this process if you can. The president couldn't. He wanted to get down and dirty in the process. He wanted to leave sort of a scorched earth rhetoric in the impeachment record in his own voice, and he has quite clearly done that.
So what does he think this is going to mean for his legacy?
Impeachment itself is a mark on President Trump's legacy, a negative one. He knows it. He didn't anticipate it, Gail. When the president overruled some of his advisors many months ago and said, no, release the transcript of the call, he thought that that act would prevent this day from happening. That it hasn't suggests to him in one small way that he miscalculated about the importance of releasing that transcript. He thought that might be his way out. It has not proved to be that way, and that bothers him intensely.
Major, we know of two Democrats who say they'll vote against impeachment. Is the White House expecting any more defections?
It was last week. It isn't anymore. There were confident, and I would say overconfident predictions from House Republicans and White House folks I talked to last week, 4, maybe 8, maybe even 10 House defections on the Democratic side. They no longer anticipate that. 2 to 4 is the sort of bandwidth that will still give the president a shading of bipartisan opposition to impeachment, but not nearly as many defections as the White House thought it was generating by its very strong, aggressive political pushback.
Jumping ahead to a trial, Mitch McConnell says there will be no witnesses. Is the White House on board with that strategy? There have been some back and forth.
It is on board with that strategy, and it creates an enormous gap of credibility in what the White House had said for so many weeks. It has to be noted. The White House said the House process is illegitimate. The Senate process will be real. That's where real witnesses and real exculpatory or defensive evidence for the president will be submitted. Now the White House doesn't appear interested in that. Democrats will reasonably ask why.
Fire victims in the community of Bize who recently lost their homes and personal belongings are counting their blessings ahead of the Christmas season. A generous contribution by MP for Castries North Stevenson King looks to brighten the family's Christmas. The family say the contribution provided by the MP will go a long way in assisting them to rebuild.
A family of 6 in the community of Bize that recently lost their home as a result of a fire has received much-needed assistance from MP for Castries North, Stevenson King. The charitable donation came in the way of building supplies and manpower to start the rebuilding process of the burnt-down dwelling. Fire victim Angelia Antoine expressed her appreciation to the minister and others who have come forward to help the family out. However, she says there are some essential items still needed by the family.
Everybody gave me something to help me because my papa sauvé en hier. Parce qu'il y a tout seul qui était à son maman sauvé. Maman couche, maman stove, maman couche, maman fridge, maman TV, maman comment va ça marcher? Comment pour mener moi là?
Ça besoin comment de prendre wheelchair?
Oui, un wheelchair là il est docteur, vous voyez? Moi ça là, bon vivre. Si van là pour moi ici, à mettre moi en ville.
The work has begun in earnest to rebuild the family home. Longtime family friend Brian Louise says the idea behind the drive is to rebuild the structure before Christmas.
Telling the firemen they did a good job. We helped them too, but still they came in time, which is very good. but that situation is very drastic. So, like, we just like need help for the time. But mom is all right for the time. Everything is good for the time. So we just trying to build out the structure for come back and live in the house. We're doing our utmost best to help out, make the structure come out before Christmas.
The family of 6 remains optimistic that other members of society will come forward to assist them during this trying time. Our camera crew captured the men at work feverishly attempting to make the family's Christmas wish of a home for Christmas come true. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Castries Central MP Sarah Flood-Bobra was all smiles on Monday, the 16th of December, as she and her team prepared over 200 hampers to be distributed in her constituency of Castries Central. The hampers were baskets filled with food items, juices, special treats, and served as a token of love, appreciation, and good cheer for several households throughout the community. Several families will benefit from the hampers and other activities put on by the MP for the festive season. Bobra explained that the Christmas season is a time where people think of those who they love, and though the hampers may not provide everything that families need now, this will bring some good cheer and let them know that they are thought of. In other news, the former director of the Folk Research Center, Hilary LaForce, remembers his younger days celebrating Christmas and all its traditions. Speaking solely in Creole, LaForce says the culture has most certainly evolved, and it pains him to say that it most probably will never get back to its glory days.
A traditional St. Lucian Christmas may be a thing of the past. Former director of the Folk Research Center, Hilary LaForce, says gone are the days of old-time Christmas, in part due to the passing of the older generation. Taking a trip down memory lane, LaForce reminisces on the sights, smells, and tastes of a traditional St. Lucian Christmas.
Premièrement, tout le monde a préparé cochon, il y a fait pour ça tuer. C'est laisser la présence chaygan, ça y pas tel que c'est manger viande fouille avec lait fini au cas salé dès que là on vient là pour l'année prochaine. J'ai bon masse. C'est ça de créer salaison parce qu'il est salé. Lait fouille garder c'est la chair, mais tout le monde garder salaison. Mais c'est qu'on va la et puis jardin, yam, surtout yam potichi, couche, c'est bagay, ça te bon, laisse ça là. Laisse ça là, pour te faire bon manger.
LaForce says above all, the traditional St. Lucian Christmas included moving from house to house, serenading persons with traditional Christmas songs.
Bagay kon l'oseille, ouais, c'est laisse ça là, pour te faire l'oseille. Il y a un homme qui partait de la bière dans ça là, la bière était jouée, grand genre, mais homme blanc, ça était d'autres belles tenir. Mais ça qui est important, c'est que les gens habillés tout en blanc. Et que quand les cailles passé, quand fait sirènal, et chaque côté, il doit faire un chantier dans les gens qui là, et puis ça, il côté, il va passer des fois. Petit tout, sous il vient côté, pour pas offrir assez boire. Tant pour y aller l'autre côté, il va sous longtemps, voilà, sous. Ça bien. Bon, ça c'est bien qu'en fait, en d'habitation. Mais l'autre vient dans la ville là, ça dit que tout carré un bagaille qu'on masse, regardez masquerade, mais c'est masse et mitose. C'est carré crier c'est ça job. Et ça moi je suis content en jeune petit boulot parce que je vais venir en ville en habitation. Et puis ça regarde tout partout, tout le monde qui est en ville, c'est mon la carré masse, c'est mon carré qui la monnaie bail au bagaille comme 4 sauter bail ça, mais ça c'est la rente ça là.
LaForce says traditional games, music, singing, and festivities made up what is considered all-time St. Lucian Christmas. The cultural activist applauds the efforts of musicians, radio stations, and social platforms for honoring customary festive music and for continuing the spread of the traditional Christmas carols. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The The unveiling of the Unicard, the new ATM project for the St. Lucia Cooperative Credit Union League Limited, looks to offer credit union members ease of access to their funds. However, some see the venture as a step away from the mandate of the credit union. Solange Alfred visited one of the credit unions that are involved in the project to gain a sense of exactly how members feel about the new credit union ATM card.
8 credit unions have recently announced the implementation of ATMs and ATM cards for their members. So we reached out to their members to ask what do they think of the implementation of ATM cards at credit unions. This is what they had to say.
I think it's a good idea because sometimes the line doesn't be so long, but probably the people will spend more. If they have the card, they will just want to come and collect the money every time. But I think it's a good idea because everything is being modernized now.
I wish it was a credit card instead. I don't really believe in ATM. Had it been a credit card where I could use it to purchase things, that would have been good. But I guess it's not bad for some people. Maybe eventually, I'll have to.
It's quite good, to be honest with you. What I was saying about it, time saving, by the time you have to go to the bank, take a line, that's more faster, much better.
So do you think it helped you save money?
Yeah. No, it will not help me save money. If you want to save, you save. You understand? But to let people know that you want to save, they will save.
For me, it's almost kind of a bad idea because with the credit union, that's where you actually get to save. With an ATM card, you can always just go and withdraw money on your account. So I think they should not go on that side because we have the banks for that. And with the banks, we don't actually get to save. So I don't think this is a good idea.
I guess it will be more efficient. So it's a good thing, I guess. I have no idea how this is.
Do you think it'll help you save?
Nah. To be honest, nah, it won't. Because, it's access, easy access to it. So I think this is the best way to save if you're taking the line. Good thing to have the ATM, but at the same time, it will not help you save because it's very easy, the ATM. But if you're taking the line, then most likely you will save. You get me?
There you have it, some for and some against the implementation of ATM cards at credit union. Many people are saying this is the only institution that allows them to save money without touching that money. And as you can see, there are those who prefer to take the line and others who prefer the ease and access of ATM cards. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Those were your views. With the island's forensic lab dependent on accuracy and solid findings, the Bureau of Standards has embarked on a 3-day training to educate metrologists and laboratory personnel on the importance of proper measurements. Officials say the training will significantly boost the capacity of technicians to measure accurately.
The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, as the national standards body and metrology institute, is charged with promoting reliable and accurate measurements in trade and research. As a component of the Commonwealth Standards Network project entitled Technical Assistance to St. Lucia and Eligible ODA Caribbean Commonwealth Countries, SLBS hosted a sensitization workshop on the importance of accuracy in measurement with a cohort of meteorologists and staff from the National Forensic Lab. Team leader for the Commonwealth Standards Network, Charles Barker, says the course was designed specifically for sectors which rely heavily on measurement and quality to help them update and improve their skills in the field.
To everything there is an uncertainty of a measure you take, and that you must discover to be reasonably accurate, that what you are measuring is sufficiently accurate for your needs. You need to know exactly that your measurements are accurate to within, let's say, certain margins.
Barker envisions that following this course, persons in attendance will not only retain the information provided, but will also serve as mentors in their various fields.
At this moment in time, the project will end in March 2020. Therefore, in reality, what we are feeling that the need is going to be is more for mentoring, less for training and more for mentoring.
The introduction of training in metrology is expected to promote and drive advocacy on fairness in trade, accuracy of health measurements, safety, quality control, and quality of life. For Hot 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more coming up after the break.